Hi, I'm Laura D. Pusey, the founder of Dippism Death in Practice, and this is the channel where we are talking the things on dying and death, life and grief. Each week I answer a question and I say it as I see it because I've seen a lot. In the last video, I considered the question, why do they do it? If you have questions about that video or you want me to answer a question for you, send me an email at deathinpractice@gmail.com. Okay, let us now open the veil of luminescence. With the intention of infinite truths, by the pulse of sacred light, I call forth the veil of luminescence. I anchor this veil in sovereign light to transmute and contain all energetic imprints, attachments, and residues across all realms. The material plane, where grief etches into the body. The emotional plane, where sorrow swells and purges. The mental plane, where stories of loss seek resolution. The astral plane, where echoes of the departed linger. The interdimensional corridors, where ancestral and cosmic threads intertwine. The parallel universes, where grief and grace mirror each other. This veil, woven of remembrance and radiance, is encoded with clarity to discern what is yours and what is not. Containment to protect your field, compassion to honour the sacred work of grief, transmutation to alchemize pain into wisdom. Let this veil shimmer between worlds, holding space for the divinity of each soul, the teachings where presence dissolves suffering, the soul's awakening where death births depth, the healing where grief becomes grace. This veil is not a wall but a sacred membrane, allowing only what aligns with truth, love, and remembrance to pass through. By the breath of the infinite, by the pulse of the sacred, I seal this veil with sovereignty and light. Welcome, and thank you for joining me. Today we are looking at a common term that is used with regard to those who lay their bodies aside. In the last lecture, I touched on various different reasons that may contribute to the action of someone ending their life seemingly prematurely. And it is vital that we avail ourselves with the bigger picture with regard to the government and the monarchy. Most often we hear the phrase, they committed suicide. Everyone says it, from the people on the street to the people on the telly. It is a widely acknowledged term that refers to the act of someone who has ended their life. However, in the world of political correctness, the term, again, committed suicide, is now out of date. On this occasion, in the English language, the term commit refers to a person who perpetrates or carries out an act or a crime. So when someone commits a crime, they've done wrong in the eyes of the law. So Who has been wronged when a person lays their own body aside? The question is layered because when a life is ended, whether it is at the hands of oneself or another, the actual loss for those in power isn't the life that's ended, but the stock that has been ruined. This is such a fascinating subject because our lives are so much more political and technical than we know. It's all very sad when anyone dies, however that happens. We cry, we mourn, we lament, we judge, we react, we spiral, we do our thing, whatever that may be. But the system counts its gains and its losses. When someone we love dies, especially during their productive years, their death comes with seen and unseen costs. If a death occurs through natural sickness, which is body failure or malfunction, especially following old age or treatment, then it can be written off as natural wastage over time. But if the life of a young, fit and healthy person is cut short, what is lost is an asset, a unit of labour, that potential that the person had to pay taxes, to produce more workers and more data that contributes to the eternal external social system. Yeah, that external system that we were born into. I say eternal because we keep it going. And somehow, I don't know how, but somehow each and every one of us are all invested. But we're not intrinsically part of this system. The word intrinsic means belonging naturally. We occur as a natural part of something, but it is not the government or any man-made systems that we find ourselves contributing to or perhaps relying on. We are the value that creates the worth of our country. That is made up of systems, and our labour is the fuel that keeps those systems alive. If a person died by suicide, the act was treated as a serious crime, and their families were often punished as a result, because the death had economic and legal consequences. We're talking way back in the days of Old England, Henry VIII and dem man de. There were three overlapping reasons why the act of laying one's body aside was treated as a crime. Apparently, the primary reason was religious. Life belongs to God. The dominant explanation came from Christian theology that life is given by God. Only God has authority over life and death, and so ending your own life is a sin. Thinkers like Thomas Aquinas argued that suicide was wrong because it rejected God's authority, violated natural law, and broke moral order. Legally, this was a crime against crown and state. I suppose the crown is the state. In English law, a serious crime was understood as a breach of the king's peace. Suicide was framed as self-murder, which was a violation of the sovereign's order. That's why a person's property could be seized and their families would suffer legal penalties. And thirdly, socially, people were seen as embedded in a network of duties to family, to community, and to social roles. So, suicide was viewed as abandoning those duties, causing harm to dependents and destabilizing social expectations. So, to tie it all up, suicide was historically treated as a sin and a crime because life was seen as belonging partly to God, partly to the social and legal order, and not entirely to the individual. As a result, ending one's life was treated as a violation of that order, with consequences for property and family. Did you notice I said that one's life did not entirely belong to the individual? If individuals fully owned their lives, then in principle they could refuse duties, withdraw from society, and reject authority. Historically, that's destabilizing. Imagine what life would look like if no one adhered to the rules passed down from those on high. If no one paid their taxes, went to work, or obeyed the man-made laws that are not actually set in stone. There would be anarchy. So multiple claims were placed on life. The divine claim of God, the political claim of state and crown, and the social claim of family and duty. Systems like monarchies and religious orders relied on the assumption that your life is not entirely yours and it is embedded in a higher order. So denying full self-ownership helped maintain hierarchy, obedience, and continuity and control. In the UK, suicide was only decriminalised in 1961 through the Suicide Act. So you could say that the term committed suicide is a historical leftover. Over time, the grounding shifted from sin and crime to mental health and suffering. Now, the dominant view is that people who attempt to end their lives are not criminals. They are often in distress and in need of support. Modern thinking has shifted toward individual autonomy, personal rights, and self-determination. But the tension hasn't disappeared. Even now, whilst suicide isn't treated as a crime in the UK, it is still treated as something to prevent, because we still hold both ideas that your life is not entirely yours and that your very being owns something to a bigger picture that you were born into, and so your life has a value beyond your choice. So, did they commit a crime? Suicide is not seen so much as a crime in the UK today, but back in the days of old England it certainly was, and those strong beliefs are still lingering in the air. They mingle with shame, guilt, regret, failure, fear, and pride. When a person appears to die before that which is often described as their time, there is perhaps the loss of future generations, ideas and opportunities that could reshape the world, contribute to a brighter or stronger society, and create happier and safer families and communities. But the reverse is also true. We can likewise create monsters and destruction through our thoughts, decisions, and future generations. So, on this one, I am sitting firmly on the fence. But if I have piqued your interest and you are touched by what you have heard, please hit that like button and subscribe. If this video has touched you in any way and you need to share your thoughts, then let me know at deathinpractice@gmail.com. Please state clearly whether or not any of your email can be shared. And if you want a shout out, then let me know what to call you. If you'd like a one-to-one with myself or one of my grief practitioners, then contact us at www.dipism.com. And it won't be long before I'll be saying, then contact us at www.griefandlosscommunitygroup.com. As soon as the website is up and running for our new CIC, I will let you know. You can find snippets of these videos on TikTok and Instagram and all other YouTube channels. And I'll let you know from now, I hate sharing. So if the videos are not up to date, just allow me, okay? I'm doing a lot behind the scenes. The workbooks, Tapestries of Grief and My Life's Tapestry are available on Amazon, and the basic Dipism End of Life course that helps you to assist those at the end of their lives, and the Dipism Grief Practitioner course that helps you to assist those who are grieving now are available. If someone you know needs to see this video or would benefit from end of life or grief services, don't be a numpty. Share this video with them. And remember, as always, all of my links are in the description box below. Now, let us close the veil of luminescence. One love. By the breath of the infinite, by the pulse of the sacred, I honour the veil of luminescence now fulfilled. This veil, once summoned to transmute and contain, has held the field with clarity, compassion, and sovereign light. As the teachings settle and the soul integrates, I call forth the sacred closure of this veil across all realms. On the mental plane, let the body rest in renewal. On the emotional plane, let sorrow soften into spaciousness. On the mental plane, let stories find stillness. On the astral plane, let echoes return to source. Through interdimensional corridors, let threads untangle. Across spheres and planetary systems, allow contracts to be honoured and released. Let all residues now return to their rightful place, dissolved, dispersed, or transmuted by sovereign light. Let the veil fold inward, encoded with discernment to preserve what is true, containment to seal what is sacred, compassion to cradle what remains tender, and wisdom to carry forth what has been alchemized. This veil is reabsorbed into the soul's archive, a luminous record of presence, grief, and transformation. By the breath of the infinite, by the pulse of the sacred, I seal this veil with sovereignty and light.